Hi everyone, it's your favorite Atomic Blonde here. How you all doing? Yeah, there we go. Button wasn't working. Hey ho. Yeah, I hope you're all well. I know I said I'd try and do a roundup over the weekend and failed miserably, which is just as well. So a couple of bits of announcements happened pretty much yesterday or early hours of this morning, depending where you are in the world. That I wanted to touch on because both of these IPs, and you'll know, I enjoyed. One of them I've probably not really talked about much at all, actually, maybe on this channel. I don't know. So I'm just going to go through, a couple of bits of late breaking news, a couple of things, sort of updates on what I'm watching that I have previously done reviews on. So sort of Welcome to Derry and Pluribus. Just talk about some upcoming trailers that have dropped recently and things that I'm looking forward to. Who knew there was something to look forward to? But hey, it's been a bit of a drought, obviously, through October. November's not been great. For those of you who caught my review of The Running Man, how disappointed I was with that. I think that's the most frustrating thing about movies right now. You either come out and go, it's mid, it's fine, or it's bad. There's not much in between. The announcement they're going to do a Gremlins 3. It's like, just give the sequels a rest. Give the poor 80s a rest. Just stop destroying all our childhood, franchises. I loved Gremlins when it came out, and I was too young because that's the thing, is all this hype around it. And then when it came out in the UK, I think it was a 15, and I was probably about 10 or 11. When was it? 11 maybe. No, I was probably a bit younger than that, and I was devastated. And I had like the little figures for Christmas, a little Gizmo, and you had Stripe as pre-Gremlin and a Gremlin Stripe, and a book that went with it, and then I found out I couldn't see it, the pictures, and there was like tears. So obviously Gremlins 2, probably less said about it's probably aged a bit better with time. It's very, very camp, but we'll see. But I think everybody's a bit like, can we just give the sequels a rest right now? So let's jump in with the news that I wanted to talk about. So first one that happened was Stargate. So the original team, I think the 2 points. Firstly, obviously it's Amazon MGM, and obviously Stargate was part of MGM. So anything with Amazon on it, you're always a little bit, this could go either way. We get some great shows like Terminalist, Babel, Reacher, and then you get like Rings of Power, Wheel of Time, etc. Now, they've categorically come out and said this is not a reboot. This is a continuation, and the original sort of writing team and Brad Wright and those guys that were behind Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, are all coming back. So that fills me with a little bit more confidence. I think a lot of it depends on obviously how much creative control that they ultimately have. But it's been 14 years since we've had any Stargate. I was a big fan of the film, loved SG-1, Atlantis. Atlantis was I think a little bit like TNG in the sense the first couple of years were a bit bumpy. And then sort of the third to fifth season, they really hit their stride, and it was really going somewhere. And of course, they cancelled it at season 5. Stargate Universe, I just could not get into. I really tried. I like Robert Carlyle. I think he's a great actor, but I think they just changed the format too much, and I think that's why a lot of the fan base kind of walked away, and that didn't really have any longevity. So it'll be interesting to see where they're going to go. I'm assuming they're going to go back to more of an SG-1 type setup, because I don't think we know a lot about it yet. Obviously, I guess we're probably a couple of years away from having anything on our screens. To be fair, just trying to see if I can pull up an article here. So I think like sort of like so Gate World and another prevalent Stargate channel was on with the guys from so Martin Juro will serve as showrunner for the sci-fi series. As I said, the guys are back. He worked on SG1, Atlantis, and Universe. So at least with the original writers coming back, hopefully, you know, we will have like they're not going to break canon. They say it's a continuation. And obviously you'd like to think they will show it the respect that they had. They were sort of saying, so Prime Video have put an official video out that you can go watch with these guys on it, with the guys from the Stargate fan channels. And to be fair, they were really, really polite and excuse me, guys. It's very cold here in the UK. Just sort of paying kudos to the fans and because of that, because they were a bit like, well, why have you sort of picked us to be part of this announcement? And they were like, well, you guys, you know, this show's not been on the air for 14 years, but you've kept the interest, you interviewed the stars of the show, etc., etc. And you felt a real genuine respect and appreciation for the fans rather than crapping on them from a very high height. And how it's, well, I mean, we're going to see how it's received, I guess, right? So here you can see like Stargate announcement promo. I won't play it in case copyright or whatever, but do go check it out as part of Prime's YouTube channel, and you can watch that. They did ask the question. I haven't watched all of it all the way through, but say like, are familiar faces coming back? And they were just like, hey guys, look, we're just making the announcement. Give us a bit to figure it all out. I mean, I'd be really surprised if they certainly didn't come back like sort of Samantha Carter and Daniel Jackson characters didn't come back as some sort of cameo. I'd be surprised if they're in the whole thing, because I think this is very much, so it's been 14 years that sort of passing the torch and setting up a new SG1 team or something like that. But I think it would be really bizarre if they weren't in it or some sort of cameos. So yeah, it'd be great to see. So I think out of a lot of recent announcements, I've got more confidence in this one, like I say, given it's the original team. But we've also seen that with other things and it hasn't quite worked out. I'm just trying to see here in the article if there's anything about timings, which I don't think there is. It's just literally saying, yeah, guys, we're coming back. And so it's more grounded, set on Earth. I think it appears that's a direction of travel they want to go. I mean, it'd be great if also this links in Atlantis and what happened with Atlantis and the guys there, because that just like suddenly just got cancelled at the end, like sort of season 5, very much open questions, kind of what happened to the team, etc. So yeah, I think, with my reservations of it being with Amazon, like I say, it's 50-50, right, to see what we're going to get. But hopefully there's a lot of buzz around this. It feels like good news. And again, with the original writing team, hopefully we'll get, say, that good sort of science fiction, good stories, not the the stuff we've been seeing through other sci-fi, which seamlessly brings me on to Star Trek. So again, I don't think it's official, but there's a lot of speculation, and certainly I think it was Tachyon Pulse that broke it. I think that Kurtzman is out now. We can all hope and pray, right, guys? Let me just bring this up. So this is just again, go check out their YouTube channels. There's this guy here. Oh, great. You love it when it does that. It doesn't bring up the page that you bookmarked. Let's try again, shall we? Oh my gosh. Right. technology, isn't it? There we go. Got it right this time. Yeah. So this guy's channel here, he has a YouTube channel, and he's also like a science fiction author, writer. He does a lot of stuff on Star Trek, and again, he gave like kudos to Tachyon Pulse, I think it is. So my insider says Alex Kurtzman and Secret Hideout are officially out at Paramount Skydance. Star Trek is getting a hard reboot, and this guy's YouTube channel, he showed an article which is on Substack, which I don't have access to, unfortunately, but basically just going through to sort of say, obviously we know we're getting a reboot with the films when they're not going down the Abrahams route, which is good to hear. But I will say I have reservations about the people who are doing the new Star Trek movie. I think the writers are done like Dungeons and Dragons and a few other things, not really sci-fi. And obviously Dungeons and Dragons, I think it's sort of received mixed, I think it's fair to say. I didn't mind it. It was fine. But wasn't like this massive hit that they were hoping it was going to be. And for me, that kind of writing still smacks to me of that sort of sci-fi, but we've got to have that Marvel humor. There's got to have, and Star Trek has always had a little bit of humor in it. But again, everything's just sort of like, everything's now like it's a comedy show rather than a sci-fi show. So that's my reservations on that. In this article with Kurtzman being out, it does go on to say that potentially the new film, and I've heard two different things. One, I heard it was like a prequel, but this article is saying actually it's going to be set post Picard. They're also saying that Paramount are going to ring fence Kurtzman Trek and make it non-canon, that it is in the Kelvin timeline, and this film will continue from the Prime timeline, which is great news. I mean, the only thing is, like, it's sad that if we lose Picard season 3, if they could find out some way of weaving that back in, that would be great. But hey, we can't have everything. So again, I think it's a case of watch this space. I think if he is out, that's great, but it'll only be as good as, you know, the showrunners they bring in to replace them. And they've got a pretty big uphill battle. There's also these talks or these rumors around another prequel show, obviously Scott Bakula, and reprising his role as Archer as president of the Federation. That could be interesting. But I think one of the big criticisms of New Trek, it's everything's in the past, where Star Trek was always looking forward. You know, it was a really bold decision to do TNG 100 years after the original show, but it was also a clever decision to almost, you know, respect the canon, respect the past, but make kind of a clean break. Yes, we had a couple of cameos, you know, McCoy in the first episode, later on Scotty, and obviously Spock, Leonard Nimoy, and Sarek. But these are like few and far between, sort of dotted through, done very, very well, very respectfully. And I think that's fine, because it's not like Member Berry's key jangling. I think that's one thing TNG done quite well, was very much kind of move the story forward or bring those characters into the new universe, and not sort of, I guess the Scotty one was slightly different because obviously he was kind of ripped out of his time kind of thing, where he was in the transport buffer. But I still feel that was done. I mean, the actual story was just like, you know, he'd gone from being the genius, the guy who knew everything, to like being completely out of place. And he, you know, his friends have gone, or, you know, he's now this relic, and where does he fit in this world? You know, so again, it touched on different themes like aging and all those kind of things. So again, you know, I think most people like that episode, or even love that episode. So I guess it's kind of watch this space. We'll have to wait for an official announcement from Paramount / Skydance to see whether this is true. It wouldn't surprise me. This article was saying that basically they want to bring the production of Star Trek back in-house. It'll be 25% cheaper. I mean, I think that's part of the thing, is that obviously it's not popular and it costs a fortune. they're literally filming, I think, season 2 of Starfleet Safe Space now, to rush it through, get it done, get it on the screens, get rid of it, so they can basically cancel the contract or buy him out of contract. I mean, that's the thing, Skydance can probably afford to buy him out of the contract, which I think it sounds like that's what's happening, because obviously there's rumors that Secret Hideout own Star Trek, or they're saying you can own your Kelvin timeline, we're not bothered. You have it, you own it, no one's going to watch it. And it's already sort of, say, scoring and going to be, it's far worse than Section 31, which is probably the most hated thing that's come out of New Trek, so thus far. So yeah, let's watch this space. Let's keep our fingers crossed that this is true. But also what's most important is, who do they appoint as the new showrunner? If they get that wrong, we're back at square one. But Skydance are sort of making the right noises at the moment, so we'll just have to wait and see. So moving on. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about a number of trailers that have been dropping recently, as I said, and things to look forward to. Obviously, we have got Stranger Things final season in a couple of weeks' time, or the first part in a couple of weeks' time. I have to say, the last trailer that dropped was an absolute banger. It looked great. Still gutted that Eddie's not in it, or we're being led to believe he's not in it. I think that's a real shame. But at the same time, it's good in a way that these shows work better. You know, when someone's dead, they stay dead, and I think there's a real trope in modern writing, and I think we're probably going to see it with Buffy reboot and whatever, that, you know, death doesn't mean anything anymore. Everybody comes back, or they're from a multiverse universe or something like that, right? So in one way, I think it's bold writing. It's good writing to say, look, sorry, he got killed in the Upside Down. That's it. But I just think it's a shame for that character, because he was so good in season 4 that yeah, it would have been good to see more of him. But if that's a decision, I respect the decision. But this looks this looks as good as season 4. I really hope it is. Season 2 and 3, very iffy. Certainly season 3. I've recently rewatched all 4 seasons. I think I mentioned that a little whiles back, because I wasn't quite sure. We didn't know when this was dropping, and I had a bit of time on my hands a little while over the summer, and yeah, kind of watched it all. I'll probably rewatch season 4 again, I think, over the next couple of weeks, just so it's just there. But I am really excited for this. I'm actually going to see the stage show, not till January, but really looking forward to seeing that as well, sort of knowing the whole story, and then kind of watching the prequel stage show. I think would be really interesting. Obviously, the Duffer Brothers are involved in that as well, the writing of that. The making of it is actually on Netflix, and I think it's quite interesting because some of the things that they wrote into the prequel, the stage show, the Duffer Brothers say, no, you've got to take that out because that's going to be in season 5. These are the reveals in season 5. You've got to take this out. You've got to take that out. So it'd be really interesting how everything hangs together. I am genuinely excited for it. I just really hope they pull it off. Really hope they pull it off in terms of how they're releasing it. So I think obviously it'll be Thanksgiving in the States, the first part, then Christmas Day, I think, or Boxing Day. That's the 26th of December for the Americans, is Boxing Day. And then obviously I think New Year's. So, you know, we're a captive audience. It's the holidays. Great bit of strategy. Yeah, very, very excited for Stranger Things, and I just really hope they pull it off. I think we had the final trailer, I think it said, in the last couple of days, of Project Hail Mary. I spoke about this ages ago. I think I can't remember if I'd done atomic reviews of Project Hail Mary, the book. I cannot recommend the book enough. It is a fantastic book. And even though I know exactly, well, assuming it's a direct adaptation, but from the trailer, it looks that way. Even though I know what happens, to see it on the big screen, I cannot wait. And I believe this is coming out at the same time as Avengers Doomsday. I tell you, I will be going to watch this and wait for the word of mouth for Avengers Doomsday. This is the one. If it's same day release, this is the one that I am going to go see first. it's quite interesting that I never would have picked Ryan Gosling as the actor for the lead, you know, based on what I had in my head. I had more of like a sort of a John Hamm kind of character in my head. The clips we've seen of Rocky, I was like, oh, I didn't think he was like that. I thought he was more a mixture of sort of rock and more metallic. So there's things coming across right. And one of the characters, I thought, oh, I'm sure she was much older in the book than she is there. But there's all these little niggles which is always really difficult, I think, when someone does an adaptation of a book, because no interpretation is wrong, right? What's in your imagination is in your imagination. And if that's how you saw it, that's how you saw it. But I think as long as the adaptation is close to the book and the story, and I love Ryan Gosling, I think he's a really good actor. I just didn't envisage him as this sort of physics biology teacher. But he does have the humor. He definitely has the humor that's needed in the book. So I am completely open. I think like any adaptation, you're going to have niggles. You know, like with Dune, yes, they couldn't directly adapt the whole book, or they made some good choices, they made some bad choices. I think, you know, we're all like with the Chani of Dune, certainly in part 2. But again, we'll see where that lands. But overall, I'm really excited for this. I read the book, and I actually had the Audible as well. And there was a point where so actually I had listened to it on Audible first, and then bought the book, because if I really like something, I like a physical copy of it, and not just on my Kindle or Audible, where it can just be, you know, even though you've paid for it, it just disappears. So yeah, I was on my lunchtime walk in the park, and I was walking around, and there's a moment in the book that something happens to Rocky, and I was just like out loud, and the tears are welling up in my eyes, and I'm walking around the park like bereft, like people are looking at me going, is she okay? All of this blinking book, it's a fantastic story. I think if you like The Martian, which is also obviously an Andy Weir book, you will love this. It's such a heartfelt story. It's full of hope. I think it's exactly what we need. It's everything that's lacking from our cinema right now. Intelligent writing. I'm imagining it's going to be good acting because it's Ryan Gosling. Good sci-fi in terms of the science in it, and all of that. But it's just this amazing heartfelt story. And you will have a heart of stone if you do not get a lump in your throat watching this film. I am so excited for it. Yeah, bring it on. I think but it does say coming soon. But I thought like Doomsday we weren't getting till like next December. So I don't know if I've been misled that these two things are coming out at the same time, or whether I've got mixed up with another release. Do let me know in the comments if you know. But either way, this is my priority. Okay, good luck, have fun, don't die. I saw this trailer the other day, just stumbled across it, and I'm like, what the hell is that? It's a new Sam Rockwell, again, sort of sci-fi film. I struggled with that. The IMDb says a man from the future arrives at a diner in Los Angeles where he must recruit the precise combination of disgruntled patrons to join him on a one-night quest to save the world from terminal threat of a rogue artificial intelligence. So he sort of turns up, and he's like in this sort of rain, like basically he looks like a hobo, right? He's dirty, he's unshaven, he's got this sort of rain mac thing on. He just looks like he's been like doing meth or something. Turns up at this diner, explains he's from the future, and he needs the help of certain people to basically stop this AI from happening, kind of thing. So, but it does look like a comedy, and again, it's a little bit like, is he just mental or is this true? And then you kind of see from the trailer, this does look like it's true. looks a bit bonkers, looks fun. Do go check out the trailer. I think it could be a lot of fun. I love Sam Rockwell. Moon is an absolutely amazing film. If you've not seen Moon, with by Duncan Jones, obviously David Bowie's son. It's what Mickey 17 was trying to be and failed miserably. Moon is a great film. Check that out. And of course, who could forget him as Guy in Galaxy Quest? I think that's when everybody realized that he could do comedy as well as like a sort of straight actor. Absolutely love him in that. Just brilliant. But this looks quirky. It looks interesting. It's the sort of rogue AI thing, but if it's spun and done in the right way, I'm excited for this. All of these things, other than obviously Stranger Things, these sort of 3 trailers I've picked out, I think, as I say a lot on this channel, they're all new things. They're all original things. How Mary's based on a book, but it's not a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not a prequel. It's not a midquel. These are all original things, and I, really want to give these things a try, and try and give things the benefit of the doubt. We're really seeing at the box office that obviously these remakes and reboots are just tanking now. People are so bored. Like you say, The Running Man wasn't awful, but just way too meandering. The pacing was off. Because the pacing was off, some of the toning was off, all that. Go check out my review to get the full lowdown on that. But that's, crashing at the box office. You got Edgar Wright and Glenn Powell. It should be doing, it should be a better film, but B, it should be, be storming it. Obviously, Predator had one good weekend, gone off a cliff. I haven't even gone to see that yet. I was going to go see it. I know it's a real mixed bag, and that's kind of why I wanted to go see it, because some people whose views I respect liked it, some people whose views I respect hated it, and I'm like, that's it's always good to go make up your own mind. But at the same time, I've just been like, there's other things I'd rather spend my time on, so I might get around to seeing it, may not. But anyway, that kind of brings me on to the last one, The Keeper, which is the one I know the least about, other than it's Osgood Perkins. Now, Longlegs, I didn't mind. I wasn't as enamored with it as some people are. Some people like rave about Longlegs, obviously with Nicolas Cage. I thought it was an interesting concept. Again, probably a bit meandering for me. But it was, again, good to see an original idea, doing something new. And Nicolas Cage's performance was just like, it was Nicolas Cage, right? It's absolutely bonkers. But the premise and the story was great. Followed up by The Monkey with Stephen King adaptation. Again, you can go check out the review on this channel for that. I really enjoyed that film. It's gory, it's fun, with Theo James, who was also obviously in one of my other favorite things, The Gentleman, the series. I think we're due for season 2 next year with that as well, which I'm really excited for. So this is like the sort of the latest outing. Again, another sort of supernatural vehicle. Is very much I think Osgood's wheelhouse. This is Tatiana Maslany, who was also in The Monkey. Unfortunately, she did play She-Hulk, but I forgive her because she made Orphan Black, which is a great series if you haven't seen that. I think that's might be on Netflix or Prime, to go check that one out, but definitely worth a watch. So it's a romantic anniversary trip to a secluded cabin, cabin in the woods, it's never going to end well. Turns sinister when a dark presence reveals itself, forcing a couple to confront the property's haunting past. So again, really all I've seen is the trailer on this. Looks very, very Osgood, creepy AF. And I reckon it's probably a jump scare ahoy. But again, they're always producing something original, which I really, really enjoy their movies. So yeah, interested to see where this goes. I'm not sure if it's out now or due out shortly, but definitely one that sort of tweaked my interest as soon as I heard it was Osgood. So and as you all know, I do like my horror. So I think he's definitely one to watch, Osgood. I hope it's good and he continues to sort of build on his career and given the opportunities to make the films that he wants to make. Like I say, wasn't completely enamored with Longlegs, but he's pretty much had three solid films based on reviews, etc. So that's what I'm looking forward to. What are you guys looking forward to? Anything coming up that you think I should check out, review, want my thoughts on? Obviously, pop it in the comments, let me know, and I will check those out. I think just in terms of, say, final roundup, so I'm still really enjoying Welcome to Derry. We've had Halloran introduced. Obviously, he's the character from The Shining. He was the chef in The Shining who helped Danny with, or told him what the shine was and why Danny could see these things. But he plays a young serviceman in the army using the shine. The army's looking for something. We assume it's Pennywise. They don't know what it is, or at the moment it's all classified, right? So they're looking for something, whether they know it's an alien or what. We don't know if they know what they're looking for exactly. But he's there using his shine power to help track down whatever it is they're looking for. And there's a scene where he finds Pennywise, or the sort of creature, but then Pennywise could see him back and he like completely freaked and was like, he's not supposed to be able to see me. And he nearly ends up throwing himself out of the plane, like being sort of taken over by the sort of Pennywise creature. So, but so far I'm really enjoying that show. It's still gory, still going places. Like I say, it's not massively woke. I don't think, other say than killing all the boys off. But we've got 2 new boys in the gang now, so it's all fine. But the effects are very good. I'm enjoying where the story's going. The crossover into The Shining, I think, is great because they're not because obviously this is set way before The Shining, so you're not going to get any weird sort of member other than it's Halloran, I should say. But I thought that was quite clever, bringing that in, like explaining like why he's sort of psychic team to track down whatever it is they're looking for. And then we had the story this week from like the sort of Native Americans about this thing arriving eons ago in a meteor. So that kind of suggests that the army know potentially there's an alien or something there, or something of power that they're looking for. And as we know, like through the 60s and 70s, that both the Russians and the Americans were doing all kinds of experiments around psychic abilities, MK Ultra, Project Montauk, which is what Stranger Things is based on. So we knew some really dubious stuff was going on. So it's not a massive leap of the imagination that they've got people with psychic abilities in the army tracking something down. You can go, that sounds a bit, this stuff went on. So, but I'm still really enjoying it. Welcome to Derry. Do go check out if that's you like your horror. If you like it, obviously, I definitely say go check this out. It was pretty gruesome. Episode 4. This girl like literally sort of cuts her eyeballs out. Is like, oh man, they are not showing away, giving away. It's a TV show. Good old HBO. Kudos to them. Pluribus, obviously the first couple of episodes I reviewed, I liked. I still like the premise, but it really needs to kick it up a notch. There's only so many episodes of the lead character, just sort of being angry, getting drunk, getting angry, killing these creatures because she's angry. We kind of need to start moving the story forward into like, what is this thing? Where's it come from? Are we basically being set up to be invaded because everybody's like this sort of happy hive mind now? Is that a precursor to someone coming and invading and taking all our resources, because they're obviously not going to fight back? They're just going to let them come in, and because they're completely subservient. Is that where the story's going? But I think we need to sort of move it a bit forward past her just being upset and angry, and you get the character why she would be. But there needs to be more to the character than that. Like Carol, that's it, Carol. I had Karen in my head and I knew it wasn't Karen, but Carol. So I think they need to sort of kick it up a notch or start pushing it. Where is this story going? So I haven't had a chance to I'm not sure, did it come out yesterday or was it Friday? I think it's a Friday drop, isn't it? So we'll wait and see what the next episode brings. Still enjoying it, but it really starts to need to develop the story more, because I think it's only like 10 episodes anyway, something like that. It's sort of average for Apple dramas. So again, love to know your thoughts on, are you enjoying these two things? Go check out those reviews if you haven't yet, or if you're still on the fence about watching it. So that was it, really. That's kind of what I thought. Oh, I forgot one. Frankenstein. I was umming and ahhing whether to do a video on it, and I kind of decided not to. That doesn't mean to say I didn't enjoy it. I think it's a good adaptation. Obviously, there's quite a few changes from the original Mary Shelley novel that do work, absolutely. In terms of like the effects and the makeup, 10 out of 10. You can't fault those. Good solid acting. I think it's my number one complaint for everything. In the middle, it just meandered. Again, you could have it's quite a long film. You could have chopped out half an hour quite easily of the story. There's real points where it just kind of dragged a bit, and you're just like, yeah, we get it. This is happening. You need to do this. Yep. Okay. You see, you're getting bought. Yeah. And I don't know. I just think movie makers have just lost the ability to do tight storytelling, tight pacing. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's just too much overindulgence, or there's a perception that all films have to be 2 hours long or 2 hours plus these days. Oh, well, I used to love like 80s movies, like 90 minutes, 97 minutes, right? Perfect. Hold your attention, bang, 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 bang. Job done. But as you know, I'm not a fan of long movies very much. There's a few I can do. Obviously, I love my Dune, and back in the day, I loved Gladiator. And there's a time and a place, and if the storytelling is done really well, you don't notice it's 2 hours, 3 hours long. The problem with most of these films is that you do notice they're 2 hours, 3 hours long, and that's like the complaint. So, I think in terms of how it looks, I mean they're bound to get a nod for cinematography or direction or something, I'm sure, and probably adaptation as well, like screenplay. Absolutely beautiful. It's very much, I'd say, like in that sphere. If you liked Robert Eggers' Nosferatu as I did, again, absolutely beautifully stunning film. It's that visual is very much like that. Aesthetic is very much like that. So I think if you enjoyed Nosferatu, you will enjoy Frankenstein. Obviously, this is one on Netflix. Del Toro. God, if I think if like Del Toro and Eggers collaborated on something, that would be an amazing film. That would be a breathtaking film. They both need reining in terms of length. But I get just the sheer visually stunning, and it's great that we've got Eggers now doing the werewolf. I think that's filming at the moment, so really excited for that to be coming out as well. Again, not everybody's cup of tea, his films, but I really enjoyed Nosferatu. I think it's actually a beautiful film. So so Frankenstein, if you say quite a few divergences from the book, absolutely visually stunning, solid acting, just a bit, again, pacing issues. But you can forgive it because it is overall an enjoyable film. But I am very much glad I could watch it on streaming. I think I would have struggled more if I'd gone to see it at the theatre. I know there was limited releases, which there wasn't one where I lived. But I think I would have struggled if I couldn't have just sort of paused it, got up, made a cup of tea, come back, go to the loo, those kind of things. But yeah, I sort of enjoyed watching it at home. But I guess it is ultimately made for streaming, even though Netflix do seem to be putting their toe in the water with more theatrical releases. Not that they need that much more money, but I think it's good for the theaters. I think it's good for entertainment. The more movies that we can get out and hopefully save the theatres, the better, but they have to be good movies, right? And we have to start having original movies back again. You know, the talent's out there, they just can't get their foot in the door, I'm sure, but things are slowly shifting. They've got to shift. I mean, Hollywood has finally realized that you know, lecturing the audience and calling 50% of your audience names isn't really conducive to making successful things. So all this stuff is like, watch this space, I guess. Things seem to be shifting here in the UK. Oh my gosh, with the BBC, came a shock to no one apart from a certain minority who agree with everything the BBC says, that it's biased. He's like, no shit, Sherlock. And more stuff's coming out every day. There's a whole thing that's come out today around pro messaging or one-sided views of the trans debate. That's now blowing up. We've obviously had the Trump stuff. We've had the Gaza Hamas stuff. But it's just a massive, I mean, say anybody who's watched the BBC over the last 10 years, maybe even further back, this is not a massive surprise that it sort of leans in one direction rather than the other. So, and obviously they're just constant in the UK about defund the BBC. I begrudge paying my license fee. I don't watch anything on BBC anymore. The sort of last two shows I used to watch was like MasterChef, and obviously both presenters there got fired for various reasons. Probably one more valid than the other. And Doctor Who, and obviously Doctor Who is absolutely in the toilet. We had the bad news that, good news, we were going to get a Christmas special next Christmas, and the bad news that RTD is still writing it. But I think the main reason for that is obviously when Classic Who went on sort of permanent hiatus back in the 90s, there was still an incumbent doctor, right? We had Sylvester McCoy. He was off in our imaginations doing trips with Ace. Then we had the Spielberg movie where McGann took over. But again, he was still an incumbent doctor. So in terms of the extended universe and Big Finish and authors, they had a doctor that they could write about, right? They could carry on the story, which is carry on revenue for the BBC, you know, through books and audio and all those kind of things. So they're still making money, even though Doctor Who's not on screens anymore. Where we are right now with this stupid, is Billy Piper the doctor or Rose the doctor? Who, right? We don't know who the doctor is. It is, you know, so in terms of trying to carry on doing extended universe, there is no doctor to write about. So you either take a punt and write it that Rose / you know, bad water, who knows, is the doctor. And then if and when or ever this gets resolved, they're not, then that kind of canons that stream of whatever anybody's writing is like you know, redundant. You know, it's the Kelvin timeline. I'm sure you can come up with some multiverse stupid excuse or something to figure it out, but I think that's the main thing that the BBC need to get resolved. Who is the next doctor, or set it up in such a way that even if they don't carry on making the show, that there can still be Big Finish audios, a continuation of books. You know, they still need revenue from Doctor Who, whether it's is on the screens or not. So I think that is probably the main driver that we are getting a Christmas special next year. Beggars belief why RTD's doing it. I think they would have been better off bringing a new writer in with new ideas, who wants a new doctor, who could have resolved the whole Rose situation. But we are where we are. Yeah, sad times. But yeah, I mean, like I say, we pay like £180 a year for the BBC, but it's not just for the BBC, because basically you watch any live TV, that means you need a TV license. So even though basically you're paying for ITV and Channel 4 and all these kind of things, the money doesn't go to them, it just goes to the BBC. But if you could say, I don't watch the BBC, that's irrelevant. You still watch these other things as long as it's live, you'd have to pay for it. So now they're trying to wrap into that if you watch Netflix, you have to have a TV license. I'm sure Netflix are not going to be happy about that, because people will cancel their subscriptions. They absolutely will. People are like here, and cost of living, £180 for a service you don't use or don't trust, on top of then all the other subscriptions that you have. You're paying like £400 or £500 a year just to watch TV. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, things are just bonkers here in the UK right now. Absolutely bonkers. And that's why our entertainment is so important, and why good entertainment is so important. We just need that escapism. We just need something to defry our brains that we can just watch and enjoy, have fun with. It's such an important part of, keeping your sanity, that once a week or twice a week, you can just go to this other world, go to this other place where it's better than here, right? Stop giving me stuff that's 2025. I've got 2025 in my face. I don't need it. And every bit of entertainment that I watch, I know the world's unfair. I know the world's crap. I don't need it constantly reinforced. Thanks very much. But anyway, it's enough of me moaning. Lots of things to look forward to, as I said. So Stranger Things coming up, Project Hail Mary, etc. Do go check all those things out. Let me know, are you excited for those as well? As I always say, put your thoughts in the comments, and yeah, you know what's coming. So please like, share and subscribe. It's really, really important. Thank you to those who have watched the Running Man video. My numbers are creeping back up again after, say, my algorithm just got destroyed. I was beginning to wonder whether people were even getting these. But the numbers are creeping up again. So thanks very much for your time and efforts in watching these and help getting the channel out. So that's all for now. I no doubt I'll be back soon, certainly with obviously a Stranger Things review. I'm sure there'll be a few things in between. Maybe I'll go see Predator. I don't know. What do you think? You take care now, and I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.